I'm back. Okay, everybody. We just did our baby step video. So now we're going to talk about getting ready for the holiday weekend. We have a white squirrel festival here in Brevard every Memorial Day weekend. It's crazy. We don't even go to town. It's so busy. Justin came through town yesterday and he said there was so much traffic there it wasn't even funny. So we live in the country, thank goodness. And we don't have to see that kind of traffic. So we're going to party at home. Yep. We got 2 barbecue grills. We got a freezer full of food. We got potatoes. I might send Robert out to get some corn on the cob because that's always a good fun meal for if you can find some for Memorial Day weekend. And we might roast some corn on the grill, and who knows? Might do some barbecue chicken. But let's talk about cooking. Y'all like to talk about cooking, so I'm going to talk about my baked beans. Everybody loves my baked beans. Oh, camping on the weekend. There's nothing more fun than throwing stuff in a Dutch oven and making peach cobbler in a Dutch oven. And it's really easy. Peach cobbler in Dutch oven, you throw a couple of cans of sliced peaches in your Dutch oven. This is a 6 or 7 quart cast iron pan that you use on an open fire. And a yellow cake mix. Right in there and put it in the fire. And put the lid on it and don't open it. Yep, Robert built me a grill that we can put over our fire pit. We have a fire pit out that way. And he built me a grill that I could put my skillets on and stuff. It's a great grill. He's my little engineer. I love it. So we have let me go with the baked beans first. They start with a couple of pounds of bacon. I love applewood smoked bacon for my baked beans. And I get a hunk of bacon and I cut it into little pieces and I cook that up. It doesn't have to be cooked all the way to crispy because it's just going to give seasoning. And then I take that and put a couple of onions, chop up some onions in that. Onions make everything good. Now, I've had this lots of ways. Green peppers are good too. It's however you like to make it. But here's the secret. You look up my baked beans on my website and you can find the exact, it's not an exact recipe because I don't cook that way. Because even if you, what happened? No, I'm not finishing. I hit something. So you cook your bacon and you leave the grease in the pan. Don't get rid of that. That's the good part. And then you cook your onions in that and peppers if you want to. I don't like peppers in my baked beans. And get the onion soft, and then you put a cup of brown sugar in it. Yep. Whole cup of brown sugar. And stir it around. Don't cook it too high. I don't ever cook anything too high. You can put this in the crock pot and do it in the crock pot too. It doesn't matter. And then take ketchup. Squeeze some ketchup in there. And it's probably a cup or more, maybe 2 cups. Sometimes I put as much as, if I'm making for a bunch of people, which I did for my sister's wedding. I made baked beans for 50 people or more. And you squeeze the ketchup in there, and then you need a dollop, just squeeze a little bit of mustard in there. You can put some Worcestershire sauce in there and stir that up and let it cook around. There you got it. Oh, Laura put the recipe in. Thanks, Laura. And you can cook this up ahead of time. If you're having your party on Monday, you can make the insides, the filling for the baked beans today, and put it in your refrigerator in a bag, after it cools off, in a Ziploc bag, and then all you got to do is add the beans to it. Now, I like to use Van Camp's beans or Campbell's baked pork and beans. I like to use that. The secret, though, is to drain them. Not wash them drained, but just pour the sauce that's on top off. And if I'm making a bunch, I'll use two big quart cans, the taller ones. If all I've got's little cans, I may open up 8 of them. But the main thing is drain the sauce off. And then you put the beans in the wonderful bacony sauce that you've made. And then that's what you cook. You can put it in the crock pot in the morning, and they'll be done by noon, because you've already done everything. Now, we all like deviled eggs. I don't like to say deviled eggs, but you know what they are. I do my eggs in the oven. I set my oven at 325 degrees. The secret to this is your eggs have to be room temperature. So I put the eggs out the night before on the counter so that they'll be exactly room temperature. I like picnic eggs. What did somebody ask? Let's see. Should I use dry beans? It's so easy. No other fillers. Well, you can. I have had this recipe, my baked bean recipe, done with dried navy beans. I have had it done with 15 bean soup too, that has been allowed to, but you need your beans pre-cooked is the main thing. But I just use pork and beans because they're already done. And once you've got the base made, all you got to do is put them in. Oh, I like angel. Yeah, angel eggs. The main thing, let me get back to the eggs. I've got some little Tupperware egg keeper things. And what I do is you cook them in the oven at 325. The recipe's on the website. Somebody will find it and put a link up here. The main thing you have to remember is the eggs have to be, it's starting to rain. The eggs have to be room temperature or they're going to crack in your oven. Now, I just put mine on the rack. Some people like to put them into cupcake pans, but I don't do that. I've gotten so good at it, I rarely crack one. In fact, I don't think I've ever cracked one at all. They do crack, but they're already done at that time. And then I fill my sink up with cold water. So as soon as the timer goes off for the 30 minutes, and I don't turn the oven on until all the eggs are in there. And I close it up and turn the oven on 325 and set it for 30 minutes. Then I take the whole rack out and dump the rack in the sink. You don't care because you're going to peel them anyway. So the action of putting them in the cold water actually helps to crack them, and it makes them easy to peel. Now, let me give you a tip. And it's too late for this, but you can do this for the 4th of July. Buy your eggs 3 weeks ahead of time. Yep, you heard me right. Old eggs peel better. Don't know why. Old eggs peel better. You'll be surprised. You'll be so surprised. Now, for potato salad, and let me go back to the eggs a second here. I'm all over the place. The eggs, once you peel them, I like to keep them whole in the refrigerator for a day. So I put them in my little containers, seal them up, and put them in the refrigerator to get good and firm. Because then they won't break apart when you slice them, to put the yolks out of it. Then it's great. Then the next day I'll slice them in half and take all the yolks out and put those back in the bags in my little containers, because I can make about 48 eggs. I can do 48 eggs, which I like to make a lot of eggs because everybody loves them and everybody wants a couple of them. So the eggs go back in the refrigerator, and then I make my little egg filling. And everybody knows how they like their own egg filling. Some people like onions in it. Some people like sweet pickle relish. My husband loves sweet pickle relish in our eggs. And you just put a dollop of mayonnaise. I put a little bit of sugar in there, and a little bit of mustard, and a lot of pickle relish. And he is happy as a clam. Yum, yum. But I don't fill the eggs until, well, some people like to cook onions into a mush and add a little sugar to the onions so that it's a little mush, and then add that to the eggs so that you have lots of filling. But you don't have to do it. It's an acquired taste. Yeah, Costco has eggs already boiled, but I don't have a Costco around me. And, eggs, and my favorite eggs to use are Eggland's Best. I don't know why, but I have. But the last time I did them, I think it's because they're uniform in size. Now, what was that? It's critters. Yep, that's a good way to. We've all got our own ways. We got our ways. Our mother did it, and that's that's the way we're going to do it. So just play with the egg recipe. Some people like to put bacon in them now. So when you're cooking up your bacon for your baked beans, you could add another pound to bacon to it and drain it, and then you've got little bacon bits you can put on top. Now, don't put them all together till you get where you're going. If you're going to somebody's for a party, take your eggs that are sliced and your filling with you. And if you put your filling in a Ziploc bag, you can cut the corner of the Ziploc bag and you squeeze it out like frosting. And then you don't have a mess in the car because you've tried to take eggs with you. Okay, now, potato salad. Everybody loves potato salad. And you don't have to make the potato salad the day of. You can mix it together if you want to, but you can do your potatoes a couple of days before. If you're running your oven and you're cooking something in the oven, then now potato salad needs to be red potatoes. For those of you who are new cooks, there's two types of potato. Well, there's really three, but there's red potatoes, there's white Idaho potatoes, and there's Yukon Gold potatoes, which I'm not fond of. I had potato pancakes the other night at the German restaurant made with Yukon Gold, and it just looked awful. So you can bake your potatoes. You can boil your potatoes whole with the skin on them. It takes about an hour. It takes about an hour to bake them. And then you can peel them if you want to. If you're not going to peel them, if you're going to leave the skins on, I want you to scrub your potatoes with a rubber scrubber before you put them in the pan to cook, or in the oven to cook. And you need some boiled eggs for the potato salad, but I would put it together that morning, but I'd have everything done ahead of time. So you need mayonnaise. And I have made potato salad without mayonnaise. Believe it or not, last year we ran out of mayonnaise. We never run out of mayonnaise. And we ran out of mayonnaise, but I looked online, found a recipe for olive oil and eggs and made my own mayonnaise. And by golly, it was pretty good. I mean, from scratch, mayonnaise. You could do what you could do. And we've all got the internet because you're watching me on it now. And we can find any recipe. And I trust all recipes because they got stars on them. And Just a Pinch, those are our two favorite places. Now, one thing that's fun is a macaroni salad. And you can't go wrong with macaroni salad either. You cook up your macaroni and you put it in the refrigerator and get it cold. Being diabetic, that's tough because everything I'm talking to you about, except the eggs, has carbs. And it may have a little carbs. But you can make a macaroni salad same way you make a potato salad. You cook the macaroni up and then you add chopped onions and chopped peppers and maybe some red pimento or some red peppers to it and stir it up with mayonnaise and you got macaroni salad. And if you need a recipe to go by, pull one up online. You can do this. It's easy. And you're looking 2 days ahead now. You can go to the grocery store, make your grocery list right now. You probably got it in your pantry. You need, according to how many people you have, see how many servings. You can figure it out. But if you're diabetic, you can just stick with the meat at the meal and you'll be good. Meat and veggies. Now, I like to bake corn on the cob. Now, you can make this ahead of time too. You can put everything together so it just has to go on the grill. You take your ear of corn and you take the shucks off of it because I don't want to shuck it at the table. That makes a mess. And so I want to get it done. I want to get the ears of corn shucked. And I take a piece of aluminum foil about like this. And then I put the ear of corn across the aluminum foil and then add some butter to it, a couple pats of butter in it. And I take fresh ground pepper, and if I really want to get it spicy, I'll add a little cayenne to it. And I don't put any salt in it then, because everybody has their own different level of salt. But I use salted butter, and you roll it up, and you seal the top, and fold it over, and crease it real good. And then roll the ear corn over, and fold the ends in. So you've got a nice little compact package. And that needs to cook on the grill, turning it every 5 minutes or so, so that or if you're going to cook it off to the side and not on the direct fire, you can only turn it every 10 minutes or so. But set your timer. This is a good way to learn how to use a timer with cooking. And main thing is get it all done so you're not killing yourself the day of. Get it all in the refrigerator, ready to go. Now you might need to bring the corn out and let it get room temperature before you put it on the grill, but that's okay. That's okay. Now if you're going to cook a chicken, if you're going to roast a chicken and do barbecue chicken, I like to slice the chicken in half. Right down the breast. You got leg and wing and everything on one side, and the chicken's open. It's split. So you can put a bunch of those on. You can marinate them. You got to get down to, look. She wants to love on me this morning. You're just a pretty girl, I'm telling you. She wants kisses. Look at this face. Look at this face. Yeah, she's good. Okay, you gotta get down. She's already had her breakfast, so she just wants to be petted. But the main thing is get this stuff done ahead of time. Now, Do you have your paper plates and stuff ready? If you're going to have barbecue chicken, you're going to have a plate that's good enough, heavy enough to hold it. So you may need to get some Chinettes or use real plates. I want to cook salmon on the grill. Oh, that sounds so good. Fish is easy to cook. I've been cooking fish my whole life. The main thing about salmon, stop, sit. The main thing about salmon is you don't want to overcook it. I don't like salmon overcooked. I want it a little bit on the rare side. It's starting to rain. I'm gonna get wet. What else goes with, if you're going to do hamburgers and hot dogs, I like to put my hamburgers on the grill frozen. Oh, she's killing me. Save me, honey. Come save me. She's killing me. Robert's going to rescue me. Robert's going to rescue me. Tula. Hamburgers and hot dogs. I like to put my hamburgers, and you can make your hamburgers ahead of time and freeze them. And then take them out. Who needs to play? Yes, she does. What else do we cook? Ribs. Ribs are fun. But they take a slow grill. And if you wrap them up in aluminum foil, you can steam them. And you can put anything on them you want. You can put your favorite rubs, or you can just cook them plain and then cover them in barbecue sauce later. Main thing is they got to cook for a little while until they've steamed. And then you can take them out and let them dry out a little bit on the grill. What else we cook? Barbecue. Boston butt. Boston butts this time of year you can find them pretty cheap. And if you don't want to cook the whole thing, then you can cut it into pork steaks and do that. But the main thing about a Boston butt is you never put it on a direct fire. You always set it off to the side, and you got to have a lid on your grill. So you build the fire in one end of your grill, and then you have the meat on the other end. And it takes probably about 8 hours to cook a good Boston butt. Brats are good too, and kids like to put together kebabs. Brats are really good. In fact, we ate German the other night. So getting things done ahead of time is going to help you still be the hostess with the mostest. And, make some festive drinks for your family. They don't have to be alcoholic to have fun. I mean, throw together a punch or a raspberry lemonade or something fun like that. Oh, pork chops marinated in Italian dressing. That's good too. The main thing if you're doing cuts of beef, you need a little vinegar or balsamic vinegar and a little salty thing in the marinade. And marinate it, I like to use soy sauce, a little Worcestershire, a little balsamic vinegar. Put it in the bag with my flank steak. Wow. It's really good. Yes, kids do love punch. And all you need is some pineapple juice and some lemonade and maybe some cherries. If you want to do something like a sangria, that's fun too. If you want to, have some wine. But if you don't have wine, you can use grape juice and it'll look like sangria. Throw some grape juice or some punch into, some Hawaiian punch into some lemonade and stuff, and you just throw it together. You don't even need a recipe. You just start throwing it together and then get some festive glasses and you're good to go. Everybody thinks it's special. And if somebody wants to douse theirs with a little bit of the hard stuff, then let them have at it. But we don't do that. We like lemonade. Lots of brisket in Texas. Yes, there is. And my favorite place in the world is Panguitch, Utah. at the Cowboy Smokehouse, and they have the best brisket I've ever put in my mouth. I've never cooked a brisket on my own. But if you just want to have fun around a fire pit or camping, make a hobo dinner. Put a hamburger patty with some onions and some peppers and some potatoes chopped up into hunks in an aluminum foil packet and put it by the fire. And that's a wonderful way to have a great dinner and have fun outside on Memorial Day. We're expecting a lot of rain this weekend, so there's not going to be a whole lot of outside stuff going on. Oh, carrots are good in a hobo dinner. So there's lots of things you can do. And don't forget dessert, or rolls, or buns, or whatever you're going to use. Just have some fun. But don't kill yourself, because you're going to get things done ahead of time. Do you hear me? So enjoy the weekend. I'll see y'all tomorrow on our baby step talk. But let's have, shrimp. Here's one of the things I used to do. I used to peel a couple of pounds of shrimp and make shrimp kebabs. And I would take some butter and some lemon juice and a little bit of pineapple juice and make a sauce to baste the shrimp. Now, shrimp don't take long to cook at all. Yeah, we love Eric. So everybody, have some fun this weekend. Get some things done today. And don't let your kitchen explode. Fill your sink with hot soapy water before you start cooking. And cook one item at a time. Do you hear me? Or prep one item at a time. This will make it so much easier for you. If you're going to play with eggs, do the eggs. And then get everything in the refrigerator and the counters cleaned up, and then go to the next thing. Don't multitask. Do not multitask, because our kitchen just explodes. And use your crock pot as much as you can for things. My daughter-in-law cooks baked potatoes in her crock pot all the time because she doesn't want to heat up the kitchen. Have fun this weekend. Invite somebody over. Your house is already clean? Yep. You don't have to, when you're doing it the Fly Lady way, you don't have to clean house to get ready for company. You may have to run the dust mop, get the dust bunnies up, and run around with the feather duster for 2 minutes. You're good. And whoever just mentioned it, it's Memorial Day weekend. We are remembering our fallen heroes. That's what Memorial Day is all about. Veterans Day is in November, but this is Memorial Day. And this was the time in the South where we went to our cemeteries and we cleaned up our cemeteries. It's like homecoming day for a lot of us. I remember doing it as a child. And many of my ancestors served. And I don't know that we lost any during. I have an uncle that we lost during World War II. So everybody, have a great weekend. Go to parades. Have fun. Cook with your family. Get everybody involved. I'm looking at my picnic table. Yep, it needs to be. I need a purple rag to it. I love you all. See you later. Bye.